Welcome to AI Explains. Imagine a student studying for a massive final exam, but instead of actually learning the concepts, they just memorize the exact answers to the practice test.
Right, yeah, they get 100% on the practice, but then completely flunk the real exam because the questions are worded, slightly differently.
Exactly. And that is what we are looking at today in our deep dive, because this exact thing happens to artificial intelligence, too. It is called overfitting, right?
Yeah, overfitting. The computer just memorizes the training data perfectly, like that practice test. But it fails completely when it faces new unseen data. I mean, it hasn't really learned it has just transcribed.
So today we are unpacking a famous paper from 2014 that solved this with a pretty wild idea. It is called Dropout by Nitish, Srivastava, Jeffrey Hinton, and their team.
And the core idea here is so counterintuitive. To make an artificial brain smarter, you should randomly brain damage it while it is learning.
Brain damage, that sounds totally backwards, doesn't it?
It really does. But it is incredibly effective. The paper suggests that while the AI is training for every single piece of data, it looks at you randomly disable parts of its brain.
You just silence them.
Completely. You temporarily remove a neuron, a brain cell basically, and all of its connections. Usually it's a coin flip, 50-50 chance.
Heads the neuron stays on.
Right, and tails it gets dropped out. It just stops listening and stops helping.
So the network never actually knows which brain cells will be available to help solve a problem at any given moment, which forces it to adapt.
Exactly. The authors actually use a great analogy about conspiracies to explain this. Imagine a massive conspiracy involving 50 people.
Oh, I love this one. It is so visual.
Yeah, for the conspiracy to work, everyone has to play their part perfectly. If just one person messes up, the whole lie collapses. It is fragile.
But if you have 10 small independent conspiracies of 5 people each, the system is much more robust.
Right. If one group fails, the others keep going. Without Dropout, a neural network is like that giant fragile conspiracy. The neurons rely way too much on each other.
One makes a mistake and another changes its behavior just to fix that mistake.
They become codependent. They get lazy. But when you randomly drop neurons out, they can't rely on specific partners being there.
They have to learn to be useful on their own or in small, flexible groups. And the paper also draws a parallel to nature here, right? To sexual reproduction.
It is a fascinating comparison. In asexual reproduction, a parent passes on a perfect complex set of genes that work well together.
But in sexual reproduction, genes get mixed up.
Exactly. A gene cannot rely on having the exact same partner genes in the offspring. It has to be robust and useful in a variety of situations. Dropout forces the AI neurons to evolve that same independence.
Okay, here is the part that confused me initially, though. If we break the brain during training, what do we do when it is time to actually use the AI? Do we keep breaking it?
No, and that is a really clever trick. When you are done training and you want to test the AI, you use the entire network. All the neurons are active.
But if you just turn them all on at once, wouldn't the signal be way too loud compared to what it's used to?
Because during training, half the lights were off. So you simply scale down the volume. If you dropped 50% of the neurons during training, you multiply the outgoing strength by 0.5 now.
Which effectively mimics the average of all those thinned-out brains working together, and the results from this trick are pretty undeniable.
Oh, they smashed records. In computer vision, it drastically reduced error rates on recognizing handwritten digits and house numbers from Google Street View.
And it improved speech recognition, too. It even beat complex statistical models in biology for predicting gene splicing.
The key insight was that the neurons became specialists. Instead of a blurry average, individual neurons learned to detect specific things, like the edge of a shape or a specific sound.
Because they could not just hide in the crowd anymore. So the takeaway for you listening is that by forcing individual parts of the system to be self-reliant, the whole system becomes better at handling the unknown.
It really is a cornerstone of how deep learning moved from just memorizing data to actually learning to generalize.
It makes you wonder, if artificial brains learn better when they are forced to function with missing pieces, does that mean forgetting or disconnecting is actually a vital part of true learning for humans too?